Well, Angela, I want to start with the big question. Why are Facebook ads more effective than other types of ads, and why should people care about Facebook ads?
Well, if you're on Facebook, you need to care about Facebook ads. What the horrible thing that most people don't know is that if they have a like page and say, we'll give a good number, 500, you have 500 likes on that page. Anywhere from maybe 1 to 4% of people are actually seeing whatever it is that you're putting in your newsfeed. So that's a pretty dismal number. People just assume that, well, I have 500 likes on my page, so everyone is seeing it, but that's not the case. So Facebook ads allow you to not only reach your current customer base, but allows you to really narrow down and define exactly who it is that you want to get a hold of. It allows you to target, which is so much more powerful when you know exactly who your target audience is versus, say, a Google pay-per-click campaign or anything along those lines, because you're just waiting for people to come to you. Whereas with a Facebook ad, you're not only going to who you want to go to, but 3/4 of the time, you're hitting a warm lead versus just a cold call.
Great. So what exactly is the difference between a boost and a Facebook ad?
That's always my favorite question. You know, a boost, once upon a time, a boost allowed you to only hit your own fans. Now they have actually allowed that to go and you can reach a larger target audience. But what it really is it's a post that's on your page that has already proven to be effective. It is one of the easiest posts to do as far as like a promoted post goes, but it also really comes with the downside of not being able to do as much with it. You can't get as solid of a target audience. You can't really define who you're looking for as much with a promoted post. It's just going to boost it through the page and allow you to get feedback to your like page. It's not really going to drive much traffic to your website unless that's what the original post was. So it just kind of limits you.
Can I go back for a second? I just have a quick question because I think my mouth dropped for a second when you said that only a certain small percentage of people. So if we post just any kind of a post and we have 500 people liking our page, we're assuming they're all seeing that page. A very small fraction of those people are seeing that page or that post?
Correct. You are, I mean, if your post gets to 5% of those people, you are knocking it out of the park in the beginning. The organic reach, and that was why a while back people were saying, oh my goodness, organic reach on Facebook is dead, et cetera, because of the algorithm change. And I mean, Facebook, just like everyone else, needs to move along and ensure that they're making money in business. And that was one of the ways that they did it, was kind of decreasing your reach, but then giving you tools to say, okay, you can do this and you can boost it organically. There are multiple ways to do that, but Facebook ads tend to allow you to skip a few more steps.
So is that mean is it not available on everybody who likes this feed, or is it only available on certain, or just certain people aren't seeing it because there's so much coming in to their feed? How is that all working? Because that's complete news to me. I just assumed that everybody was seeing a post.
A lot of it has to do with your engagement and how often you're posting. You know, if you're not getting a decent amount of engagement, meaning likes, comments, shares, whatever it is on your post, it's not going to go to anyone. Think of Facebook as a voting system, right? So you put a post out there, say we'll put this webinar out there, and the first 3 to 5 people that see it don't like it. It's officially a dead post. You're going to be lucky if it gets to 20, maybe 50. If you break the 100 mark without any likes, that's surprising. However, if you show it to, you know, those first 3 to 5 people and you get 2 of them to like it, then they're going to push it a little bit more into a few more people's newsfeed. And then maybe somebody else likes it. Oh, okay, we'll keep showing it to people because it's of interest. So if it's not of any interest to those 2 or few people that have seen it, they're not going to show it to anyone. It's a popularity contest.
Wow, that's very eye-opening. I had no idea.
I had another question, or just an observation. I remember reading something at one point in time that the longevity of a Facebook post was only several hours. Is that correct?
I wouldn't necessarily say that, because your feed lives on forever. It's not necessarily like a Twitter stream where a tweet is really only as good, maybe an hour max. I would say that you're going to get your biggest bang out of your buck within 12 to 24 hours from a post on Facebook. Past that, if you haven't really gotten a lot out of it, you have two options. You can delete it off your newsfeed completely, or you can, rework it or just keep on moving and have it in your stream. But it's not going to really be delivered in the newsfeed unless all of a sudden someone goes back on your page and starts liking it.
Gotcha.
Then it'll go back out.
And just like with SEO, with all the things that we do with websites and looking at the Google Analytics and everything like that, paying attention to your Facebook analytics, what's being effective, what's not, and constantly tweaking, test and measure, constantly to really find that sweet spot is so important. Isn't that right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the amazing thing that you don't really realize is how much you can actually do in conjunction with Google Analytics and Facebook ads. So, and this is where you folks come into play. And often it's calling up the web developers and saying, okay, guys, this is what I need to do in the backside of whatever my website is. When you're installing specific URL parameters and tracking, where I can actually know, say I want to send people to my blog, how many people are coming to my blog from Facebook. If we aren't installing the correct URL parameters within the Facebook sites and then making sure that we have that to be tracked, Google Analytics might just record that as a direct search versus coming from Facebook.
Gotcha.
So it's key to tweak those.
And when we were talking with our joint client, the Trinell Financial Group, I think that was a week or two ago, we had looked at what the Facebook interface is reporting in terms of how many people clicked and went to the site, and then we pulled up the analytics to say, okay, once they got to the site, where did they go? Which pages did they promote? How much time did they spend after the fact? Did they engage and go to multiple pages? Did they bounce off the page? And it was such a really valuable discussion to be able to connect. Okay, after I get them to the site, where do they go? And is it working? And that whole stream from beginning of the interest in clicking through, getting the website where they go after, is really the whole puzzle that needs to be put together to make sure that you're testing, measuring, and being effective.
Yeah, exactly. It's really a game of testing and measuring. I would love to be able to tell people, run one ad and you're good and you don't have to worry about it anymore. But that's not how it works. Just like one day a post might go viral. I had a post on one of my sites, which was, I think, like the 40 best slow cooker recipes. And it was shared like 20 plus, almost like 50 times and liked 1 million. And I was like, what? And we haven't been able to replicate that post since. So, you never know. You never know. It is a test and measure game.
That's what I was about to ask, because I'm sure you get asked this all the time. What is the secret sauce to getting a viral post? And that's where, go ahead and answer what you normally say on that.
Well, actually, I would say the secret sauce to a viral post is it's a little bit of luck, but a lot of it is knowing who your target audience is. I call it the Power 5. If you don't know exactly who it is, it's pitching to your niche. You need to know exactly who you're trying to attract. Because if you're just throwing stuff out there, it's like throwing spaghetti on the wall and seeing if it sticks. But if you know exactly who you want to be the one to catch it and say, this is what I want, and I want this type of person, her name is Susie, and she, she's a stay-at-home mom with 2 kids, and she drives a Range Rover. If you can dial in exactly what it is, all these things about your ideal client, you know how to deliver exactly what it is that your customer wants. If you don't know who your client is, you haven't set goals, you're not going to ever be able to post anything that's going to go viral.
Great. At this time, we'd like to allow you to share with us a little bit about yourself, how people can contact you, how they can take a look at your website. Robin, if you wouldn't mind bringing that up real quick, as Angela tells us, and then we're going to do a little promo ad for Awesome Dynamic from Terry. So go ahead, Angela.
Sure. My website is ventureright.com, which I think Robin's going to bring up for you. A little bit easier to see it. I was actually in sales and retail background for about 17 years in management leadership development, and moved into the social media circuit via fitness and working in Beachbody. Since then, I've been able to really expand my reach and work with multiple small businesses to expand their reach and awareness, and make sure that they grow where they want to go. All of my social links are on ventureright.com. Feel free to connect with me anywhere. Facebook is where I am the most active. Tweeting from time to time is where I get most of my social media links, and soon to come will be a Venture Right Facebook page. That's actually in current development right now. And you can get a hold of me by phone, 224-513-9377. And like I said, that's on my website as well. And ventureright@gmail.com is also a good way to get a hold of me.
Great. And Terry, how do people engage with Awesome Dynamic?
Well, first of all, they can go to our website, which is awesomedynamic.com. On that website, you're going to see a place to get a free quote. You have our 800 number. You can always reach out as well to me, Terry, Terry, at awesomedynamic.com. What we do here at awesomedynamic.com, besides talk about social media, is websites, search engine optimization, Amazon seller consulting, and we can also help you with a virtual tour of your business as well. We're all about getting you targeted customers, and we have people calling us every day. We want to make it so that people are calling you every day. So that's a quick rundown on what we do and how we do it, and I will send you right back over to Robin.
Sure. All right, so we touched on demographics slightly. Is there a way that you can target people specifically, like say you want to target small businesses or something like that, like groups of people? Is there a way that you can target those kinds of people?
No, you absolutely can, depending on what you're looking for. Small business is something that I check for. So, you know, what's interesting is you have small business as, say, an interest. So right now there's 51,806 people that are interested in small business. You have a demographic where they've said that they somehow are related to a small business, and that's over 4 million people, almost 5. Job title says that they are in small business, so that's another 40,000 people. People that say that they're small business are their employers, which you can almost kind of guarantee that they're probably the ones that are running that small business, is almost 20,200 people. And then some people that just study small business is about 5,500 people. So it's interesting. You can literally say, okay, I want people that are just in this mind frame, and that's who I'm going to reach out to. The possibilities for custom audiences and then really being specific about your interests is what makes the Facebook ads so unique and so special when it comes to everything. You know, you can say everything from, I'm looking for these current clients, or I want to exclude these people. And you can do that as well. You can upload your own custom audience of everyone that's in your current email list, and Facebook will match them up. It's a pretty awesome system.
That's great. All right, so in terms of measuring that success, once you get your target audience, you have your campaign. Before we dive into the content of the campaign here, how do you actually measure that success? I know Facebook has some measurement indicators. You can probably use Google Analytics as well. Are there other types of programs out there that you can use, or how do you use them effectively together?
I think the biggest challenge is you need to, sorry, little man. You need to actually figure out how and what your goals are. So without allowing you to really know what that is, if you're not set up to say, okay, I want more traffic to my website, or I'm looking for more likes, or, you know, I want just more awareness, you have to really dial in on what your goals are. Once you know your goals, then you're going to be able to measure success. there are multiple third-party softwares out there that you can actually use. Right now, honestly, Facebook Insights, Google Analytics are two of the ones that I use mainly. There's plenty of paid platforms, and you can Google that and say which ones are the best. If you're a Chrome user, Power Editor is Facebook's own management platform, and it allows you to really dial in a few more things. But I mean, if you are driving people to your website, you want to say, okay, well, I want more conversions. Okay, well, what does success mean to you? And there are some different analytics or conversions that I would say that you can use. But it really comes down to what your goals are. I know that's a very vague answer, but
yeah, why don't we dive into an example now and add a few more questions on the actual content. So here's an example of Dr. Lamb here, also happens to be one of our awesome dynamic clients. But why don't you go ahead and I'll scroll through this and let us know what are the highlights of this, how many ad versions you should create when you put it out there, and how do you incorporate your brand and your theme into your Facebook page and to the ads?
And before you get started, Angela, wanted to also tell, if you would share the success that our mutual client here, Dr. Lamb, has experienced in terms of his implementation of your training as a lead-in, and then go ahead and answer Robin's question, please.
Sure. What's fantastic about Dr. Lamb's site is really the aspect of how much he has grown his page. When we started, we were looking at, about 100 likes. It was a brand new page. And basically it said, okay, I told them exactly what they needed to do, and they took it and ran with it. I think definitely in conjunction with their SEO and their website, they were able to explode. And now I believe they're over 3,000 likes. And that's, I want to say, under a year. So that's pretty impressive when you can make leaps and bounds. They actually didn't really start doing ads until, I want to say, somewhere around the 6-month mark. They were able to really grow a lot organically just from producing really solid content. And that's the one thing that people, kind of forget. There's two pieces to social media that are so important. One of them is creating your own very valuable content, relevant and valuable content to your target audience. The second piece is interacting. If somebody likes something, making sure you're commenting, making sure you're engaging with your audience, making sure you're going out and liking other pages as your page and commenting on those pages. There's a reason it's called social media. Everyone thinks you can just post a bunch of things and people are going to flock to you, but that's not how it works. You need to actually go out and be social. One of the things, that drlamb.com does amazingly well is they have a really good variety on their page. Videos are always, they trump a lot of different things lately, but having things that are shareable, quotes that are great, they have organic blogs that push them right back to your website. They brand everything, which is extremely important. If you see a random picture come up in your newsfeed, you need to know who it is. So they've got drlamb.com on there and their logo, which is perfect. They've, something like this image right here, that's easily shareable. So it's something that people can look at and like, and then they have call to actions on a lot of their posts as well, which is going to continue to drive that back. They started creating these things. Here's what our clients are saying, which is a fantastic way to give highlight to a review without being just a text link. And so that was something that they implemented very early on and started to get a lot more engagement, interaction. So that way it gave people a little bit more to see. And it's really just a really good balance of everything when it comes down to play, which is nice. When you can see, when you've got 78 likes on a blog post, and I'm seeing continually every day, plus they're doing the exact same thing. They've got Reviews on their page, that's probably one place where they might be able to get a few more, is to boost that up. But I know they also focus on Google reviews as well, which is huge. And again, the links to everything that they do. That bringing that thought process of how do you keep your, I guess, your brand name top of mind is really just making sure you have a consistent look upon your page, that the branding is solid, you know what you're doing, the logos are there, and making sure that the images are popping and they're front of mind. If you have a little tiny image and then a big link, nobody's really going to click on it. So,
and that's where, optimization, it's a word that a lot of people don't really understand, and I like to simplify it. Whether it's an Amazon listing, a web page, or a Facebook post, it's there's a list of best practices, and optimization is really doing as many of those things as you can, as best as you can, regardless of what it is online. A lot of people don't get that, going that extra mile with really valuable content, making sure that the pictures are awesome, making sure that it compels them to do what you want them to do, it's well written. Those things, whether it's an Amazon listing, a web page, or a Facebook post, is all about optimization. And it's not just some fancy technical word, it's really just breaking it down to just doing as best as you can. And if you could elaborate a little bit on, what are some of the optimization techniques you would recommend for a Facebook post?
Short and sweet is always ideal. I always play with whether long form posts or, keeping it under 80 characters is best. And it really is going to depend on your client. So for a fitness page where you're trying to give more information, maybe you can go a little bit longer. With things like you're going to be linking directly to your blog, you want it short and sweet. You want it to be simple, you want it to be understood, and you want it to be clear with some type of call to action. So that's going to get you to where you need to be. The consistent branding, definitely don't put a picture out there without your logo on it and expect people to know where it came from. A lot of times people are scrolling their feed so fast on their phone or wherever it is that they're not going to notice who that picture is, or wait a minute, why is this person on my phone? Unless you have the logo on there, so that way they can, really identify that. Variety is always huge when it comes to your newsfeed. Quotes are golden. Those things people love to share quotes and inspirational thought processes and motivation. Sharing things from your favorite author as a business, or from your, books that you've read, things that you've got going on. Showing the human element of your brand is so important. People like to buy from people. If you just have a page and it's all talking about, I guess the products that you sell, but then not talking about the people that actually sell those products, it's not going to get as much of a reach on Facebook. Remember, Facebook is a people platform. They want it to look organic. One of the things with Facebook ads is that if it looks too much like an ad, it's really not going to show up. They'll actually say, we're not going to play this ad. And they will tell you if it doesn't look organic enough, it's not going to happen. So those are, some of the key pieces to really think about. And if, the other thing is, if this showed up in your newsfeed, would you share it?
Yeah, those are awesome tips, and there's just no one wants to be advertised to if they have a choice.
Right.
And when we recommend things for email marketing, that's something that we advise clients to send stuff that people want to have. So one of the reasons why our email list that we have or maintain doesn't have a lot of unsubscribes ever is because we're always delivering valuable content, i.e. these webinars. And we make sure that the valuable content is actually valuable and is informative, and our audience really wants to learn about that stuff. The other thing is that human element is so important. I always talk about in SEO the two different sides, the technical side of actually getting up in the rankings and having more traffic come through to the website. But then once they're there, it has to do a really good job of making them, compelling them to want to act. And a lot of times when you have whether it's a small business or a bigger business or something, you want, well, the statistics are, it can boost your the trust level that people feel in your website by almost 30% by having pictures of the real people behind the business, as opposed to just a bunch of stock photography. Yes, you can use the stock photography until you get there, but if there's any creative way you can actually get the real people involved in some way in the presentation of your presence, that just is huge. And like you said, Angela, it allows that emotional connectivity to happen, instead of just a cold wall of, okay, I don't know what this company is all about. So that's a really good tip that you brought to the social media end of things as well.
Yeah, I also say that about everyone's profile image. I always try to fight to say, can we put a face on there? can we put a person? Because if on your images and everything else you have the logo of your company, it's important that people think, there clearly is someone behind the brand. So, having those pictures up versus a profile image a lot of times, or, I've definitely had profile images with the logo, in some way inserted in it. I know it's a tiny image, but sometimes you can get away with it. So that way you can have the best of both worlds.
Great. One other comment that I wanted to make was in regard to how does the website and SEO or in social media work together? And a lot of people are like, I got a blog, but they don't know what they're doing with the blog, or they're just blogging to blog because they know it's important but don't know why or how. And I mean, that's true with everything from just posting things on Facebook because I understand Facebook can help me, but they don't know why or what the strategy is. So one thing that we always tell our clients is that, well, first off, the blog post needs to be properly optimized so it can rank independently in Google. So if it's something that's really valuable, it's for different keywords that you want your website to come up for, you have to do all the right things, put the keywords in the right places, don't put them in the wrong places so you don't get penalized, and then it can independently rank in the search results. But then the next level, aside from just ranking in search results, is promoting that content, that really valuable content you have. And that's where the social media can really make a huge impact of, okay, not only is it coming up in Google and ranking well there, but I'm pulling people in from other areas. So I'd like you to tell me your spin on what is the strategy via social media, whether that's Facebook or anything else, that you would recommend, including LinkedIn for like a business.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you have a blog on your page and your goal is to drive traffic to your website, then I always say host your blog on your website. There are definitely plenty of platforms out there that allow you to blog. Medium.com is a great one. LinkedIn has the publish feature, and you can share that with everyone and anyone that is available to kind of see it, but really hosting it on your website and then promoting it everywhere, having a thought process. Okay, every week I am going to show my new blog post on, say, Sunday nights on Facebook. That tends to be one of the nights that a lot of people get a ton of traffic. So, I'm going to post it on Sunday nights, and then I'm going to make sure that it gets posted on LinkedIn. Maybe it's Monday or Tuesday morning, and then I'm going to promote it on Twitter. Probably Twitter, you can get away with promoting it a lot more, for about 5 times a week. One of the great things with Facebook ads is that you can actually say, I'm going to run a promoted ad for this blog for just today. So then that way, you can see how well that blog can go, and you're going to boost it out to everyone. And maybe you just want to send it out to just your fans. So you want to make sure that all 500 people on your newsfeed actually get to see it. So I'm going to run an ad to make sure that all my people get to see that. You can also throw it up on Pinterest. Boards are amazing to do that. Instagram, you want to change the profile, your link in your profile, so that way you can go directly to that. If you're on Snapchat, talk about your latest blog. Let them know what's going on. The key is that you have to get the word out. It's great that it's SEO optimized and that making sure that it can rank all on its own. But if nobody's looking specifically for that, they may not find it. Whereas if you're automatically sending it to your email subscribers, automatically is posting on your Facebook. And honestly, with Facebook, depending on how often you post a blog, I usually recommend having some sort of post about it, probably at least twice a week. And the challenge there is you got to make it look different. And you should make it look different on every single different platform. It shouldn't say the same thing on Twitter as it says on Facebook. It shouldn't be the same image that comes up on Pinterest as it does on Facebook. And this again, this whole piece is why they say when you spend 6 or more hours on your social media per week, you get better return, because you're focusing on your content, you're making sure it's valuable, and you're making sure it's optimized for each target audience. Your Facebook audience is not the same as your Twitter audience, and it's not the same as your Pinterest audience, and it's not going to be the same as your Instagram. They're all completely different. So knowing who you are pitching to is a huge piece. And then having that rollout strategy of saying, okay, I'm going to post it here, then here, then here, then here, and allowing you to track how it comes, which Google Analytics is huge, and saying, how many people did I get from Pinterest? How many people did I get from Facebook? What about Twitter? What's my results from my ad on Facebook? How does that differ from maybe a Twitter card or anything along those lines as well?
Well,
Yeah,
Angela, I was going to say, that sounds like a lot of work. and that's yeah, it is. And that's what, yeah, it's one of those things, you only get out of it what you put into it. And the same thing for the search engine optimization. We tell people they're going to spend at least 20 hours a month working on their website doing something. We have a whole checklist of things to do. But regardless of where if you're starting with social media, you're starting with SEO, you got to put work into it to get something out of it and to finally start to realize that ROI. So even with ranking in Google, that can take several months, and you can before you get the momentum going. It was interesting, Terry, if you wouldn't mind commenting about the whole idea, and I'm sure this is true on social media as well. Can you just do social media once, or can you just do SEO once? And Terry, I'd like your insurance comparison that you usually give.
So that's the question. Sometimes I'll talk to people and they'll say, I've already done my SEO. That's a problem because it's an ongoing thing. It's not something you do and then you stop and you've done. But we had an insurance agent. We were sitting in his office and he wanted to know how long he should do SEO. He would have to do SEO for. And I said, I don't know, how long do I need insurance? So that was really it in a nutshell. I mean, it's something you need. It's something that's ongoing. This is too, your benefits don't last a long time. You may have some residual effect from some of the things you do, but over time, things will erode and go back to where they were if you don't keep it up and keep content fresh and keep moving forward. That's how we talk in the SEO world.
Exactly. So when talking about Dr. Lamb, which we have up on the screen, and Tim, you don't need to put that back up, but the comment that I wanted to make is on our SEO checklist, we have this checklist specifically to help do one thing at a time and then build on it and then build on it and then build on it. So when Angela's talking about, well, you should be on, she just talked about all these different platforms and how you got to make it different for all of them. And then you're like, you get, oh my God, how am I ever going to get there? And what's interesting is with Dr. Lamb, he had been blowing through the checklist. He delegated like 4 or 5 employees 40 hours a week to do everything that I was telling him. Never seen anybody go through our checklist that fast before, but it was just amazing. Way more than 20 hours a month. They literally put 1,200 hours in over a couple months' time to get all the different things on the checklist done. But one of the things that we did, or I said, now we need to develop a strategy to make videos for each page. And oh my God, videos, how am I going to do it? What am I going to wear? Where, do I need a camera? No, we can make this simple. And essentially I advised him, just pick a time a week and have Dr. Lamb sit down in front of just a normal camera. We told him what equipment to use and just talk about one of the blog posts that you did, that your staff is writing, and just talk about it for 2 to 5 minutes or whatever. And now you got a video and you can post it on that thing. You can promote it in any of the other social media areas that you want. and it can rank independently in Google from where you posted in YouTube and all this other business. But we just started with one every Friday, then they did two every Friday. So they begin to build a system around content creation, and that's what makes all this stuff really easy. These webinars we do them for two reasons. One, it allows people to learn stuff and engage with us and talk with us, ask questions and all that jazz. But two, we slice these videos up and use them everywhere. And that really helps us connect with a lot of people after the fact, and it creates content that we can then promote. So Angela, that I just went on my little monologue there. I want to get your reaction on all that.
Well, I mean, that's a key piece. You know, you can curate a lot of content, which basically means pull content from influencers, people that you find valuable, but it really comes down to the fact that people are looking for your content. If they come to your page, they want to know what you are doing. And so developing your own content and making valuable content, it should be your #1 priority when it comes to social media. You could definitely hire someone like me to go and make sure that we're running it, but without any type of information to help create that organic content from your company, it makes life very difficult for everyone involved, and it's a much slower growth rate. You know, the one huge thing with Dr. Lamb that I continue to say is that they truly have spent so much time on content creation that is why they have seen, I think, such great growth. Could it be faster? Sure. You know, but it really just kind of depends on what they're doing and where it's at in certain things. But, you know, people say, well, I want to get to 5,000 likes in 2 months. Can you do it? Sure. It's probably going to be a lot of ads and whatnot. But the question is, those 5,000 likes, are you actually having solid engagement from people that are going to find your content valuable and relevant? Because it's the engagement piece right now is so much more important than the likes. Because as we said, you know, if you're not engaging with the page, you're not actually seeing things. So if you're not really feeling that connection between your customer and knowing what their audience is, you're not going to deliver what they want.
Great.
So really is important. Mm-hmm.
Robin has up on her screen, Tim, if you'd show that, just a list of all these videos that Dr. Lamb has done. He does the custom title slide for each one. I'm sure I saw it on his Facebook page. He's also uploading the video separately to the Facebook interface as well. And that's important. We're going to get into the reason why with Angela in just a moment, but I'd like to take a quick commercial break. Angela, please share with us again your how people can get a hold of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Just go to ventureright.com. There you can connect with me on all my social networks. I will tell you that I'm the most active on Facebook. So definitely give me an email, shoot me a friend request, and along with a message saying how you found me is always key. And definitely my phone number is on there as well, so you can always get a hold of me. Just hop in there.
That's that 224-513-9377. Terry, can you please promote Awesome Dynamic and tell folks how they can chat with us on this webinar if they'd like? And Terry, you're on mute, by the way.
All right, thank you. So again, our phone number is 800-238-1811. It's awesomedynamic.com. You can join all of our webinars through the website. You can also see all of our past webinars. We have a tab up at the top there. You go ahead and click on there, and all those webinars will be available to you at any time at your leisure to catch up on some of the things we've been talking about of late. I can be reached also at Terry, Terry, at awesomedynamic.com. And again, just a quick rundown on the website and what we do here. Responsive web design, SEO services to get you found on Google, the Amazon seller consulting, which, you know, we've been talking about on a lot of our webinars of late, big part, up and coming part of our business, helping people get on Amazon, optimize what they're doing, optimize their profits, and manage their accounts on there as well. Google virtual tours, which we talk about briefly here, is a way to get some extra exposure from your business, get people to do a little tour of it through your website, and get a little boost in your SEO value as well, especially if you're your other competitors are not having that on there, it's a great way to get some extra boost that way as well. While we're on here, we can also talk about getting on our awesome list, which is a great way to be up to speed on everything that we're doing on here. And as I always like to talk about, if you like what you're hearing and are getting some good information from our webinars, we always would love a Google 5-star review. And you can do that right down at the bottom of our page. Go ahead and click on that review button. It'll take you right there, and you will be able to give us a great review. It's very important to our business. It helps us get found and have people understand the quality of what we can offer. So we really appreciate your time giving us a 5-star Google review. So that is a quick rundown on us and what we do. And as always, we say bring your friends, bring your questions to our webinars. Also, if you have a website or your online presence is something you're interested in looking into a little bit, we can help you by featuring you on here and talking about what we can do to improve the website and the online presence, get you found on Google faster and better. What did I miss? Anything, Paul?
Well, Robin, click on that thumbs up, because we're always going to get the thumbs up, right, Robin?
Right.
And we would appreciate Facebook reviews as well. Either of these links will take you to the respective pages to leave us a 5-star review. And I'm sure Angela would love that too. Angela, how do we find your Facebook page? Well, you said it's in development, correct?
It's in development. So currently just go on to my personal page and connect with me there.
Okay, and when you get your business page set up, we'll put that in the notes of this video so folks can connect to that and leave you a 5-star review there as well.
Awesome.
So Angela, going back to videos, tell me about, can I just put all my videos in YouTube and then promote those in Facebook? Is that a good idea?
Well, once upon a time, it was a good idea. But, Facebook has figured out that Facebook likes to play with Facebook. So they want you to stay in Facebook as long as humanly possible, which basically means if you have a video, upload it to Facebook and then upload it separately to YouTube. You want to make sure that you can put as much content on Facebook as humanly possible if that's where your brand is and that's where your target audience is. This is really a huge piece when it comes to, Facebook Live is now massive and it allows it to stay on your newsfeed as well. But it's that voting thought process again. Facebook is going to give more reach to videos that are uploaded in their platform versus a link that's going to push them outside of the platform.
Great. And Robin, I know I had interrupted you before, so I want to give you a chance to ask the question that I think you had a follow-up question, if you remember, and if not, we can move on to the next one.
Oh, it was just an example that I think, Paul, you had about getting a lot of Facebook likes versus your goals and actually looking on analytics to see how many people came through the site. And I'm talking about like a real estate example. Where the client got a whole bunch of likes on their Facebook page, but then they realized they got really excited about it, but they realized that only 3 people went to the website and it was spam. Or if you could talk about the. Yeah.
Sure. So yeah, I recall the client. It was actually Jim Starwell with the Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate Group. I think they boosted a post. They said they got something like 500 likes. And they had something like 80 click-throughs. And I said, okay, well, let's go investigate what happened with these people that went to your site. So we open up the analytics. Of the 80 click-throughs they got, they sent them to a page that didn't really connect well with what the Facebook post said, which after we tracked down the data, but out of the 80 people that came to the page, I think 97% left within a second or a few seconds, and the other 3% only hung around for maybe 3, or only clicked on another page but then left within 30 seconds. So it was an example of, they were really excited because of what Facebook reported in terms of the number of clicks and likes, but then when it got to the page, it fell flat. So that connectivity, Angela, could you speak to that?
Yeah, so the good news for them was that their organic reach probably increased after that boost because they had a lot of engagement on that post. Now, a mistake that I see quite often is that people will have some type of an ad, a boosted post, whatever it is, and it sends them to maybe their website homepage. So there's no connect to what that post really was about. When you're driving someone to that website, you need to have a call to action. You need to have a landing page of some sort on your website that connects exactly with whatever that boost to post was. If it's something, if it's for a particular house, send them to that specific house listing. Don't just send them to your homepage, because then they're going to be like, wait a minute, now I have to go and try to find the house that was on this boosted post that I can't really find anyway. We all have the attention span of a squirrel. So, it's just when you get to the page, if it's not what we wanted and not what we originally thought we were going to see, we're going to bounce. So that is really one of the biggest disconnects a lot of times I'll see from Facebook posts, is that you have this great ad. It's an amazing image. It did really, really well in your newsfeed. We're going to boost it. But then when it goes to your website, it's going to fall flat because you either don't have a great call to action, or you're sending them somewhere where it doesn't look like they should be. And now they've lost.
Right. If you're going to use the clickbait, make sure that they're getting exactly what they expect after they click through.
That's right.
It's not only with the social media, but also with optimized title tags of what shows up in the Google search results or ads that you do in Google. It all has to connect. If you're promising something or you're promoting something, I had better find that when I get there and not have to look for it. Terry, we always talk about when we evaluate websites that we ask clients, do you want people to call you, and what's always missing from the top of the websites, Terry?
Well, two things: the phone number and the call to action that would get them there. Otherwise, but we literally have sites where we have to search all over and usually go to the contact page just to find the phone number. And what are we trying to do here, and why are we making it hard?
Yeah. So, Angela, we got about 10 minutes left here, and I know we have a whole list of questions. I think we developed a list of maybe 15, 20 questions, and I think we've gotten through maybe a few of those. So we might have to have you back on again to go through some more of those. But what sort of takeaways do you want folks to have in this last 10 minutes? And what are some of the most important things that they should do? Maybe a top three. Maybe which social media platform should I start with? So I don't know if that's, what is most important, Angela? You tell us.
I think the most important thing with any marketing strategy, whether it be social media, website, whatever it is knowing your target market. You have to know who you want to attract. Once you dial that in, it's fairly simple to choose what social media platforms you need to be on. I am a big proponent that everyone needs to be on Facebook. I mean, there's almost 2 billion people on Facebook, 2 billion people on Facebook. And with their Facebook targeting, the ads and everything that you can do. Yes, I know a lot of people are like, well, should B2B be on Facebook? People are behind businesses. People see those things on Facebook just as much as they do on LinkedIn or whatever else place they're at. So yes, I believe that everyone should be on Facebook. And then it really just depends on who your target is. If you're looking for women 35 and up and you're selling products of some sort, you should be on Pinterest. Depending on how quickly you want to go or what your thought process is, you should probably be on Instagram as well. If you're a business coach or anything along those lines, you need to be on Twitter, because that's where the people are, where they're giving information, and that's the correct demographic. LinkedIn is definitely someplace to build where you want to go. As far as like B2B, yes, but remember, it's a personal connection site. My personal thought process on LinkedIn is, yes, it's great to have a LinkedIn page for your business, but it's a one-to-one type of networking area. If your business is on LinkedIn, everyone in your business needs to be on LinkedIn, because that's how you're going to get to people. Your business page is there and it's great and it's something you could definitely share from. But if your people aren't connecting with other people, if they're not commenting, if they're not sharing, it's not going to be nearly as effective as you need it to be. So, and the other thing is variety, so know your target audience so you know where you need to be. Have variety on whether you're just in one thing. I will tell you right now, if you are new to social media, do not try to kill yourself and go on every platform and go to town. Pick two, just two, and then you're going to be good. Once you get those under your belt, then you can move on. And the variety really comes into play of nobody wants to see the same thing over and over and over. So it's the variety of images, links, organic posts from you, blogs, different things to really start to engage, ask questions, give polls, all of those things. And if you say you're on Facebook and you're on Pinterest, make sure they look different. Make sure you have a different, name for your blog on Facebook than you do on Pinterest. Spend a little bit of time and allow that to kind of be different. And then the other thing is going to be test and measure. I mean, if Facebook and everything else is changing so rapidly, Instagram being Facebook's baby brother, the analytics are only going to get stronger. But Instagram stories came out just at the beginning of August, and people are going, okay, well, what does that mean for Snapchat? And can you do the same thing on Snapchat that you're doing on Instagram? You have to kind of stay up to date on where you're at. So know your target audience, have variety in your posts and what's going on. Stay true to a couple of platforms until you get really comfortable and go from there. I would say 50 to 60% of your content should be organic, whether it's images from you or a blog you create, something of really solid, valuable content. I think I missed something.
Good. Now, we have a big group of chiropractors. They actually are the ones who prompted me to invite you onto our webinar, and we're going to be sending this video recorded webinar out to their group. And for them, I wanted to ask what platform should they be on to connect with new patients?
It's funny because I had a client who was a chiropractor, and Facebook actually was working very well for them. Facebook is definitely where you want to be because it's a B2C. And then I would ask them, what's their target audience? Meaning, do they have more female clients in their specific area, or do they have more male clients? Because if you have more female clients, you have the ability, especially with chiropractic care, to really give a lot of image-based information. And so Pinterest would be a really good place for them to play and kind of be at. If it's mainly male, a lot of times I will direct them just because, Pinterest, they do have a decent amount of male users at this point, but not nearly as much as, say, either Twitter or Instagram, even depending on where they're at. If they have the ability to really go mobile and use phones, Instagram is definitely going to be a good place to go. And it's easy with the Facebook ad platform. You can actually do an Instagram ad and a Facebook ad all at the same time. I don't recommend them being the same, but it does allow you to easily do that through the Facebook Ads Manager.
Great. Let's see. Any follow-up questions? We got 5 minutes left. Wanted to know if Terry, you had any questions. Robin, any other short questions that might be good for Angela to answer? Or Angela, if you even have any final thoughts before we do a wrap-up and another round of commercials for our respective businesses.
I think that the thing that a lot of times through my research, and I learn new things every single day through podcasts or, different blogs and whatnot that I go to, is that you really need to have a symbiotic relationship with your web developer, the people that are running your website and your social media. There are so many things that you need to be able to do as far as possibly adding code to certain pages of your website that, that's not something that I am good at. I took C++ in college and it was a horrifying experience. And so, that's why you have amazing people like you guys to be able to do that. But knowing how important or learning those skills, having someone teach you those skills are extremely important to be able to really understand and measure your ROI. And that's what everyone wants. What are my numbers? How am I going to get this out of it? And the other thing is don't get discouraged if you don't have immediate results with social media. You know, it takes a minimum of 3 to 6 months just to get a consistent footprint in the door. And you have to be consistent. You know, if you stop midway after 3 months and you're like, we're not getting anything, well, you're right, and you're not getting a chance to get any more because you've just given up.
Right.
So it is a consistent process. So those two things are big.
You know what? And I want to mention the way you offer your services is very similar to what we do, I believe, and that is based on what we engage you for. But you know, the idea of you're able to do a full service offering and really take over somebody's Facebook account or social media accounts and do all that stuff for them, or they can engage you to train, which you've done with Dr. Lamb, you've done with us, and you've done with a few other folks. So. But if you do the training option just like we do, if you don't implement, it's not going to go anywhere. And like you said, 6 months, 3 to 6 months for results. We say the same thing with the SEO. It is a long-term proposition. That's to ramp up and then get going. So is that right, Angela? You got the two basic options there?
Yep, absolutely. Consultant basis where I'm there to help you out. I actually have multiple checklists as well for things that people need to do in order to stay on top of their platform and to have consistency for, you know, monthly, weekly, and daily routines that they need to get into the habit of for social media. And then I can create an entire digital marketing strategy for them based on really diving into what their target audience is. Or I can take everything on, and myself and my team will do everything from create graphics. If you know, you send me organic content, I can spin with that. We can blog for you. We can do pretty much whatever you need to make sure that you stay solid on social.
Great. And what is your 24 words in 7 seconds?
Oh,
Put me on the spot.
you totally are. I'm sitting here going, what? You know, I basically run your social media so you don't have to. Embrace the power of being social.